They are withdrawing the missing witness instruction altogether. Why would they do that? So are they abandoning the argument that the Commonwealth did not call Proctor, Higgins, Albert, and therefore you should hold that against them? So because they're abandoning the instruction, it does not mean they're abandoning the argument. The instruction is something that the judge reads. And frankly, the instruction can actually be a little confusing. And as I read it again, and you go through, well, was this person called to this side? Were they more friendly to this side? Did they have facts that were material to this side? It can get a little confusing. And maybe the jury will think, well, I didn't check all those boxes, so maybe I'm not going to hold it against the Commonwealth because I don't feel like the defense checked all those boxes. Maybe the defense thought it feels like we have a little bit of a burden with the jury and they didn't want to do that. And this in conjunction with the fact that the defense is abandoning the third party culprit instruction and defense on its own. But to me, abandoning all that can simplify this case for the defense, because instead of going with an argument that 30 people were involved in a conspiracy, including law enforcement, judges, prosecutors, politicians, teenagers, right, that were in the house, adults that were in the house of all ages, all getting together and being in this big conspiracy, instead of them trying to prove that, they're throwing some shade, some very obvious shade and some shade that nobody can really disagree with. But in addition to the shade, they're focusing on the fact that there was no collision. There's actually proof that there was no collision, and it is more likely to be a dog bite or scratches than it is coming from a broken taillight on the SUV. And to simplify and streamline the argument like that, to me, makes a lot of sense. And the defense is a lot of strategy, because if you go back and listen to Alan Jackson's opening statement, some of the stuff he talks about, 2:27 a.m. Google search, we're going to prove this to you, Proctor's a cancer, you'll see. They've proved it in ways that they didn't prove it in trial number one. With cross-examination, without confusing experts that maybe weren't that great, without giving some of these lay witnesses an opportunity to explain themselves, and you keep the boogeyman out there, and it becomes a situation where it's actually easier for the defense to make sure that the jurors are not confused by any of these instructions.